me up in a room on our own. Whatever happens in that room, I'd be walking out, not a fucking.
And I called it all cute pig's eyes.
Listen, it's a fighter, you know. I feel on serious for this fight. My prepare is like 100% discipline, control. But 24, 23 in May, we look great fight.
Yeah, I think, like he said, he has the momentum, and yeah, he faced some good guys, and he won, he took them out. But like I said, I'm a whole different animal. So let's see.
Tyson Fury clearly looked frustrated with John Fury constantly stealing attention during serious moments. Instead of letting Oleksandr Usyk and Rico Verhoeven build hype naturally, John once again turned the spotlight onto himself. Even boxing fans started questioning why he always feels the need to erupt at every single press conference.
Call me Nostradamus soon, aren't they?
Yeah.
I definitely predicted that one.
Yeah.
What do I say?
Yeah.
Fuck him. That's what I say.
Tyson Fury was basically making it clear that John Fury should have stayed out of the situation completely. Instead of screaming about future fights and Tyson during Usyk and Rico's press conference, Tyson clearly felt his dad should let this event happen first and only talk about the next fight afterwards.
Yeah,
Exactly. We were just saying, and he was lining him up.
People say
He
to
was
me,
lining
oh,
him
you
up
beat
for
him
Lennox
up,
Lewis at
you
the time.
beat two people, you beat this guy twice before. This is heavyweight.
Listen, hi everyone. I'm very glad to be here. I'm very happy back in UK. You know, I missed a little bit. 6 months, yeah, last time. Thank you so much. Thank you organization who do this. Thank you Rico team. For me it's a challenge. A lot of people say, why you chooses not boxer? It's a great guy. It's a dangerous guy. You want, you know, please, one time I wanna do what I want, not what need, because a lot of time I do what need another people, and you must you have to boxing like this, you must boxing like this. I say okay. Now I do what I need. Thank you.
John Fury completely hijacked the atmosphere by turning Oleksandr Usyk and Rico Verhoeven's press conference into a Tyson Fury discussion. He was loudly warning Usyk about Tyson Fury instead of respecting the actual event happening in front of him, and many fans felt it was unnecessary chaos once again from John Fury.
Pig's eyes. I was going to be respectful to you, but you Little John, be quiet.
Tony Bellew reminds everyone that Oleksandr Usyk is operating on a completely different level inside a boxing ring. While John Fury keeps creating drama at the press conference, Bellew focuses on the actual fight and admits Rico Verhoeven faces an almost impossible task against a fighter as intelligent as Usyk.
If this was a kickboxing match, I'm trying to tell you, Alexander's in an awful lot of trouble. Do not take a kick off him. Thankfully for Oleksandr Usyk, this is a boxing match. And I think once them first 3 or 4 rounds pass, and that awkwardness and stance and style Oleksandr Usyk figures out, I think Rico could be in for a hard night's work.
Someone saying it could change boxing forever if he wins, Rico. How does Rico go about trying to solve that puzzle of Usyk?
It'd be the greatest shock boxing's ever seen. If Rico Verhoeven is to defeat Oleksandr Usyk, it will be the greatest victory in boxing history.
And I definitely feel like I could give them a good challenge because I've trained with both of them. I know them inside out. So, but for now, the focus is on this weekend.
Oleksandr Usyk makes it clear that he is not underestimating Rico Verhoeven at all. Even while John Fury creates chaos around press conferences, Usyk stays locked in and focused, treating this as a full-intensity fight rather than a promotional show, which shows why he remains so dangerous in any matchup.
I'm always like very calculated, but yeah, when I connect. Like I said, there's a lot of weight behind these punches. So yeah, of course, within the kickboxing sport, I was used to just throwing the kicks and doing my thing. But now we get the opportunity to use the hands more. So Peter is like, oh, he's like crazy excited.
Oleksandr Usyk once again shows that calm, cold mindset that separates champions from contenders. He does not feel the pressure that others are trying to build around him, especially with all the noise coming from John Fury and the media chaos. For Usyk, this is just another night in the ring, another job to complete with discipline and precision. That mentality is exactly why opponents struggle against him, because while others panic under hype, Usyk stays completely unaffected and focused on execution.
No, it's not pressure for me. Listen, it's just fight. It's a boxing fight. It's a normal. I prepare for this fight. Everything I can.
Simon Jordan highlights the business side of boxing that fans often ignore when emotions take over. While John Fury is busy turning press conferences into personal attacks, Jordan reminds everyone that modern boxing is also driven by money and global attention. A fight like Usyk versus Rico is not just about sport, it is also about spectacle and marketing power. That is why this matchup exists, and it explains why controversy and hype are building even before the first bell rings.
Little space, and I can see how the monetization vehicle of this works, but Usyk wouldn't be doing this unless there's a reason for it. There must be a motivation behind it. It must be some form of derivative as to what happened between the various disciplines crossing over with Ngannou and...
Simon Jordan highlights the business side of boxing that fans often ignore when emotions take over. While John Fury is busy turning press conferences into personal attacks, Jordan reminds everyone that modern boxing is also driven by money and global attention. A fight like Usyk versus Rico is not just about sport, it is also about spectacle and marketing power. That is why this matchup exists, and it explains why controversy and hype are building even before the first bell rings.
This is not a fight I am a massive fan of, and now that I'm free, now that I can kind of, be more open about my opinions on this fight, I fucking hate this fight. I can't stand it. I understand the circus nature of it in terms of like big name kickboxer, one of the best of all time, if not the best of all time, coming in to fight an all-time great in the boxing space in his sport. We saw it with Francis Ngannou and Tyson Fury. The only difference there was, I think, more fans of Francis Ngannou, more of a what-if factor because of his punching power and because Fury was 550 pounds in that fight, accurate, not even exaggerating. We got a masterpiece in terms of what Francis did to the current heavyweight champion of the world. Now, this is a little different because Oleksandr Usyk is a massively different operator than Tyson Fury. He is a far better technical boxer than anyone at heavyweight, and he isn't really susceptible to one-punch KO power the same way Fury is when he comes in out of shape and blubbery. Now, is there the off chance that Rico catches Oleksandr Usyk? Yeah, sure. I understand. It's a fight. Anything can happen. But why is the WBC heavyweight champion of the world not just taking a recess from fighting the biggest and best boxers on the planet when he is the sitting champion, but also putting his title on the line to fight a kickboxer with one professional boxing match in his career? That's the big part.
Peter Fury is basically confirming what the whole boxing world has been debating, that this fight was not forced, it was actually wanted by both camps. Oleksandr Usyk stepping into another crossover challenge shows his fearless mindset, while Rico Verhoeven is also stepping outside his comfort zone to test himself in pure boxing. While John Fury keeps creating unnecessary drama at press conferences, Peter is focusing on the reality: two elite fighters agreeing to meet in a high-risk, high-reward clash. This is exactly the kind of matchup that separates hype from true competitive ambition, and Usyk thrives in situations where pressure and expectations are at their highest.
I understand that he's kind of earned the right to do what you want, but I at least expected it to be some sort of active boxer, someone of some... Not to say I don't actually know much about Verhoeven in terms of a kickboxer, of what his quality level is, but what I'm saying is I expected it to be someone of a decent caliber of a professional boxer. But if it's not, then fine. Look, do your thing, do you, and hopefully he returns to actual professional boxing against some of the top elites.
Liam Goff delivers heavy criticism towards the entire idea of this crossover fight, calling it more of a gimmick than a legitimate sporting contest. He questions whether Rico Verhoeven has earned the right to compete at this level in boxing, especially for a world title scenario. However, what critics miss is that Oleksandr Usyk is not avoiding challenges. He is actually welcoming unique and dangerous opponents from different combat backgrounds. While John Fury fuels chaos outside the ring, Usyk continues to operate at the center of elite boxing discussions, proving his name alone drives global attention regardless of opinions.
This is a joke. This is nothing but a gimmick fight, and it's even more shameless considering the fact, one, it's on pay-per-view, and two, it's for the WBC Heavyweight Championship of the world. Does Rico Verhoeven, with his one win over a decade ago against the guy who was 0-5, deserve a world title shot? Answers on a postcard. Can you play the recorder? No. That's the answer. This is shocking. Shocking stuff from Oleksandr Usyk. This is Oleksandr Usyk picking money over legacy.
Tony Bellew again puts maximum emphasis on just how dangerous Oleksandr Usyk currently is at the peak of his career. He breaks down the reality that Usyk is not facing any ordinary champion, but someone who has already conquered elite heavyweight names like Tyson Fury and Daniel Dubois. While John Fury continues creating emotional outbursts around press conferences, Bellew stays grounded in facts, highlighting that Rico Verhoeven is stepping into the most difficult challenge imaginable in boxing. This is not just a fight, it is a legacy-defining moment, and Usyk remains the man everyone is trying to measure themselves against.
If Rico Verhoeven is to defeat Oleksandr Usyk, it will be the greatest victory in boxing history. Yes, it's the second professional fight on paper, but this is a guy whose second professional fight is against the undisputed unified former cruiserweight champion of the world, the current undisputed unified heavyweight champion of the world. He's undefeated. Nobody has been able to touch this guy. It's peak Oleksandr Usyk. He's just defeated a man who's 20 stone and 6'9" in Tyson Fury twice. He's just defeated a record machine in Daniel Dubois who was on the run of his life. This isn't a guy who's washed up having a comeback fight against somebody. This is a guy in his peak and in his prime. Put that into perspective. If Rico Verhoeven is to do this, it's off the Richter scale. This is bigger than Buster Douglas knocking out Mike Tyson. That's how big this is. This would be the greatest shock in boxing history.
Ade Oladipo breaks down Rico Verhoeven's reputation in kickboxing, explaining why this crossover fight has gained so much attention. Rico is not just any striker, he is considered one of the most dominant figures in kickboxing history, with power and discipline that has earned him elite status. However, while John Fury keeps distracting the narrative with emotional reactions at press conferences, the real focus remains on whether that kickboxing greatness can truly translate into boxing against someone as technically complete as Oleksandr Usyk. This is where reputation meets reality, and boxing will reveal the truth under pure rules and pressure.
Oleksandr Usyk steps in and will take on one of the greatest kickboxers of all time. I'm actually quite a big kickboxing fan, so I know quite a lot about him. I've watched a few of his fights over the years. They used to call him the Prince of Kickboxing, and then he elevated to the King of Kickboxing. I mean, he's a very, very, very good kickboxer who's got decent hands. I can't lie to you. It's funny, yeah?
This fight now stands at a level where reputation, pressure, and pride all collide in one moment. On one side you have Oleksandr Usyk, a fighter who has already proven himself against the very best in boxing, dismantling giants like Tyson Fury and Daniel Dubois with precision, intelligence, and complete control. On the other side you have Rico Verhoeven, a kickboxing king stepping into a completely different battlefield where every mistake is punished and every second matters. The real question is whether Rico's power and discipline from kickboxing can survive under pure boxing rules against someone as technically complete as Usyk. Meanwhile, John Fury's constant interruptions and emotional outbursts have only added more chaos around the event, but none of that changes what happens when the bell rings. Usyk remains calm, focused, and mentally locked in, while Rico carries the pressure of proving that a kickboxing legend can shock the boxing world. If Usyk wins, it simply confirms his dominance at the highest level. If Rico wins, it becomes one of the biggest shocks in combat sports history. This is not just a fight, it is a legacy-defining moment that could change how crossover bouts are viewed forever. Do you think experience and elite boxing skill wins again? Or can Rico Verhoeven rewrite history on the biggest stage? Comment your prediction now and join the debate.